2 months after the breakup, I found out I was pregnant. A few days later, my ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend came to my house and said she would give me 5 million yuan and let me give the child to her for raising. I only then realized that my ex-boyfriend, who I had been in love with for 4 years, was actually the prince of the Beijing circle. Instantly, a surge of anger surged in my heart. I took out my phone and dragged him off the blacklist. Ethan, you big liar. On the first day of the Chinese New Year, a strange woman came to my house and looked at me arrogantly. Are you Lila? I was confused and asked with doubt, I am Lila, what can I do for you? Her eyebrows were frivolous, and her tone was disdainful. I am Ethan's girlfriend, Serafina, and we are getting married soon. Is that so? Congratulations first, we have broken up for a long time. After saying that, I was about to close the door but was grabbed by Serafina. She said bluntly, Lila, I know you are pregnant. I widened my eyes in shock. I only knew about the pregnancy 3 days ago. How did his ex-girlfriend know about it? In order not to cause trouble for myself, I immediately denied, my child is not Ethan's. Serafina chuckled. No matter whose child you have in your belly, as long as you give birth to it and let me raise it, I will give you 5 million. I was stunned. Are you seriously ill? I will not give you this child, let alone your dirty money. Get out of here. After saying that, I locked Serafina out of the door. I felt that my personality was insulted. Did Ethan hook up with a rich woman? No wonder he dumped me so cleanly at that time. This rich woman asked for 5 million. She is really rich. What era is it now? There are still people selling children? After scolding Serafina, I started to scold Ethan. I began to think back to the time before the breakup. He sticks to me like a dogskin plaster. Every day, he does nothing but eat and sleep. But we have always been on contraception. How could it be such a coincidence? Before I could think about it, my stomach was churning. I rushed into the toilet and vomited non-stop in the toilet. In fact, I had already made an appointment for an abortion the day I found out I was pregnant. After Ethan broke up with me, we lost contact. I blocked all his contact information. Since we broke up, we have to break off completely. I can't let Ethan look down on me, let alone let him call me a slut behind my back. I want to let him know that I am also a man with backbone. Thinking about it, tears fell uncontrollably. I wiped away 2 tears randomly and kept reminding myself in my heart to be brave, strong, and forget that scumbag. When I was cheering myself up, the hospital called. The doctor said my test report is out. She also said that I was born with a thin uterine wall and polycystic ovary syndrome. If I insisted on having an abortion, I was afraid that it would be difficult to get pregnant again in the future. After hanging up the phone, I was stunned. After checking the balance of my bank card, I called Marcus. Manager, I'll follow up on the news about the successor of Ethan Group. Marcus' hearty laughter came from the other end of the phone. Oh my God, Lila, are you serious? Our company has sent so many people to come back without success. I was about to give up. This time, you figured it out. You are the backbone of our company. Once you come out, you will definitely win. I believe in you. I immediately made my request while the iron was hot. I'm serious, but I want to get double the salary. Gossip news about wealthy families has always been the favorite seasoning of the public. The successor of Ethan Group is particularly mysterious. No photos or information about him can be found on the internet. A few days ago, when the news of the marriage between Ethan Group and Serafina Group came out, various media were scrambling to get first-hand information. If I can get the qualification to live broadcast the wedding, then this wave of traffic will be stable. 2 months ago, there was a rumor that the heir of Ethan Group was seriously injured in a car accident and lost his fertility. I don't know whether this news is true or false. At this time, I suddenly remembered the crazy woman who came in and asked me for a child. What did she say her name was? I remembered, Serafina. It's really funny, and she also wants to give me 5 million. Wait, what a coincidence, her last name is Gu. As an entertainment reporter for many years, my keen sense of smell tells me that there must be a lot of stories here. I first checked the personal information of this person named Serafina. When Serafina's photo appeared in front of me, I couldn't help but take a breath. She said she was Ethan's fiancé, so Ethan is the heir of Ethan Group who I want to interview? Fuck you. One couldn't help but curse. Looking back on the past, I couldn't connect Ethan's loser image with the prince of the Beijing circle in any way. It's not that he is not handsome enough, but that he is too loser in his daily life. He wears old man's shirts in summer and cotton clothes in winter. He likes to eat Shaxian noodles for dinner. He doesn't look like a prince of Beijing at all. Thinking of the baby in my belly and the upcoming interviews, I was in a state of panic. If it was really him, could I calmly report the news of his marriage to another woman? Could I really broadcast his wedding process live? Bring the child to attend the wedding ceremony of his father and stepmother? No, not even the stepmother. This child will be branded as an illegitimate child as soon as he is born. But it seems that the trouble does not end there. Serafina has set her sights on the baby in my belly. I don't like to be passive, so I planned a good show. Serafina found me at the door of a black clinic. At that time, I looked haggard and pale as paper. She stared at my eyes and asked angrily, "Lila, are you crazy? Did you really abort the child?" I sneered, "What else? Would you give me your fiancé?" She looked at me sarcastically, "You wish." I was not angry either and said lightly, "I really don't know what you like about him. Apart from being handsome, he is simply a waste. We are all women, I kindly remind you not to be fooled by his harmless appearance, so as not to be cheated of money and sex like me, and then dumped by him. How can I give birth to a child of a scumbag?" Serafina looked at me suspiciously, "You really don't know his true identity? No wonder, otherwise how could you abort this child, what an idiot." After saying that, she walked into the black clinic arrogantly. After a while, I received a call from the doctor inside, "Lila, I have said everything as you said, and she has no doubts." Okay. After hanging up the phone, I sent a big red envelope to the doctor inside and told him that I would not expose the doctors who came to him to make extra money. At the same time, a message came on my phone. "Sister Lila, Serafina has withdrawn all the people who are monitoring you. Thank you for your hard work. But, it seems that there are 2 groups of people monitoring you, so you'd better be careful recently." 2 groups? I can't figure out who else I offended. I have been a reporter for so many years, and no one is better than me at following or secretly taking pictures. The most out-of-place thing is that my ex-boyfriend is the prince of the Beijing circle. In the past 4 years, this guy has eaten my food, drank my drinks, and used my things. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. It feels like he is afraid that I will rely on him after I know his true identity, right? Okay, Ethan, you wait. The next morning, I deliberately put on a haggard makeup and came to the downstairs of Ethan Group. I walked to the front desk calmly, "Hello, I want to see Ethan." The pretty girl asked in a very official manner, "Excuse me, do you have an appointment?" I immediately handed over my business card, "Verbal appointment, I wonder if Ethan still remembers it." "But please call him, my name is Lila, I'm a reporter for Apple Weekly." The girl looked me up and down and said politely, "Wait a minute." When a beautiful woman takes the initiative to come to the door and says that she has a verbal appointment with the prince of the Beijing circle, 80% of people will choose to ask and inform. After all, pillow talk is no joke. After the girl got the reply, she was surprised for a moment. "Ethan, please go to the office, but you have to pay attention when you go in. Ethan's fiancée Serafina is also there." "Really?" I smiled and said, "That's even better, I know both of them." The 10-centimeter high heels made a crisp sound on the floor, and every step I took was torture. Jealousy, resentment, grievance, and loneliness all surged into my heart, and I just felt extremely uncomfortable. His seamless connection made me feel that the sweet time I had spent with him suddenly became extremely ironic. I wiped the tears from my face and made sure that my makeup was not smudged. Finally, before the elevator door opened, I put on my usual fake smile. In my eyes, the two of them are no longer human beings, but RMB. When the secretary opened the door, I saw Ethan sitting at his desk in a serious manner. He was dressed in a suit and tie, and he had a sense of urban elite. Serafina leaned forward in front of his desk, looking at him tenderly, her long legs glowing white. When she saw me, she was surprised for a moment, and then said in an unhappy tone, "Why are you here?" I just smiled and said nothing, but Ethan asked, "Do you know each other?" Serafina felt guilty, and her eyebrows were filled with displeasure, not familiar with each other. I directly stated my intention. "We at Apple Weekly really admire Ethan's style and want to interview you. I wonder if I have the honor." Ethan stared into my eyes. "If Lila is in charge of the whole process, I think I have no reason to refuse." Things went much more smoothly than expected. After confirming the interview time, Ethan and I added contact information again. Everything was completed smoothly under Serafina's eyes. She was so angry that she gritted her teeth but could do nothing. After all, her current personality is a simple little white rabbit. When I left, Serafina followed me and said sarcastically to me, "You are so eager to come out to work after the abortion surgery, Lila, you are really capable. But no matter how capable you are, the Ethan family will not allow a woman of your status to enter the family. Ethan's wife can only be me, understand?" I smiled and dug my ears. "Serafina, please calm down. I am not interested in married men, everything is for work needs." Serafina looked at me with her arms around her chest. "Okay, then we also invite you to live broadcast our wedding." Suppressing the unhappiness in my heart, I smiled brightly. "It's an honor. After doing this job, I can not only get double salary, but also apply for external transfer. Isn't it better to work than to work with men? Besides, I touched my belly." I finally sent away Serafina, the door god, but met Ethan in the parking lot again. He deliberately blocked my car and smiled at me in a sly way. "I haven't heard from you for 2 months, Lila, you are so cruel." I pouted. "Break up means we are strangers, what does Ethan mean by that?" He looked down at me, literally. I immediately took out the recorder in my pocket and shook it in front of him. "If you keep talking, you can't stop the car. Don't forget, you have a fiancé now." "So what? As long as we are not married, I have the right to choose." I couldn't help but blurt out, "Scumbag." He curved his lips, revealing 2 beautiful dimples. "Lila, it's a bit bad to scold me like this, isn't it? I scold my ex-boyfriend, there should be no problem, right?" He chuckled, sharp-tongued. I looked down at the time and looked at Ethan impatiently. "How long are you going to block my car? Don't tell me, you still miss me now?" He stood up and released his big hand pressing on my hood and said coldly, "You think too much." I curled my lips, stepped on the accelerator and whizzed past him. Looking at Ethan who was covered in exhaust gas in the rearview mirror, I laughed heartily. "You deserve it." As soon as I finished laughing, I felt like crying again, and a sudden sour feeling came over me. What's wrong with me? Am I sick? I seem to be crazy. No wonder some people say love is a disease. Just thinking about it, Marcus called. "Lila, you are so amazing, and you have made another contribution to the company. Don't worry, I will not only double your salary, but also give you a bonus." After hearing about the salary increase and bonus, my mood eased a little. Who is so big-mouthed? I just got it here, you will know it then. Just now Ethan called in person and said that he entrusted us to report and follow up on his marriage. Lila, put down all the things on hand, and Ethan's report is entrusted to you. Just tell me what you need. Hearing Marcus's excited voice, I knew that Ethan must have promised him something good. For a moment, I couldn't figure out what Ethan wanted to do. At this time, an unfamiliar number called. After 2 seconds of silence, I pressed the answer button. Ethan's usual lazy voice came from the other side. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, Yuncheng Luxury, I will accompany my fiancé to try on wedding dresses. My heart obviously sank, but I still answered calmly, okay, Ethan, I will be on time. Ethan laughed twice, and his tone was neither salty nor bland. Lila is really dedicated. Of course. After saying that, I hung up the phone and didn't give him the chance to mock me. He wanted to see me in despair and reluctant to leave him. Sorry, maybe in the next life. As promised, I arrived at the bridal shop designated by Ethan. I looked at the luxurious wedding dresses in the window and couldn't help but fall into memories. I used to think he was a poor loser and didn't even dare to look at him every time I passed by here. But he was still keenly aware of my little thoughts. With a smile in his eyes, he said to me affectionately, when we get married, I will definitely let you wear the most beautiful wedding dress in this store. Now, he does have the ability to let me wear the best wedding dress here. It's just that the bride is not me. Everything around seems so ironic. But reality won't give you time to feel sad. I still strode into this luxurious bridal shop. After explaining my purpose, someone led me to the VIP room. After entering, Ethan was the only one inside. He looked back at me and said lightly, "You are here." "I'm not late, Ethan?" I looked around and was a little confused. "Serafina hasn't come yet?" Ethan smiled and said nothing. The staff member next to me put the tablet in my hand. "Lila, these are our high-end custom-made clothes. Each one is a unique custom-made one. You will never wear the same clothes as others." "I think you are wrong." Before I finished speaking, Ethan interrupted me. "I want to give my fiancé a surprise. Do you mind giving me some advice?" His tone was firm, leaving me no room to refuse. I just felt a dull pain in my heart and smiled calmly. "Of course." The lights on the scene suddenly darkened. I sat next to Ethan and watched the models walking on the catwalk not far away. Every wedding dress was so luxurious and dazzling. When the lights came on again, all the models stood side by side. Ethan looked me in the eyes and asked, "Which one do you think is the most beautiful?" "The second one." After a pause, I said, "Of course, it's just my personal opinion." He approached me suddenly, and the familiar scent of lily of the valley still lingered on him. For a moment, I was a little dazed. A bewitching voice sounded in my ears. "If I let you wear that wedding dress and marry me, would you be willing?" After 2 seconds of hesitation, I pushed him away and said firmly, "No." I stood up, calmed myself down, and just as I was about to find an excuse to leave, I heard a commotion outside. Then, I saw the angry Serafina. She looked at me as if she wanted to tear me apart, but when she looked at Ethan, her face was full of cuteness. She moved to sit in front of Ethan and acted like a spoiled child. "Ethan, why didn't you call me when you came to choose a wedding dress?" Ethan answered irrelevantly, "What do you think of the second one?" Serafina looked at it and said with some disdain, "It's too plain. I think the first one suits me better. There are pearls and crystals on the skirt. After all, I am a little princess." After that, she changed the subject and looked at Ethan lovingly. "Actually, it doesn't matter what wedding dress you wear. The most important thing is to marry the person you like. I will wear whichever one you like." The coy posture made me feel sick, and then I couldn't help but vomit on the spot. Serafina looked furious and asked me, "Lila, you did it on purpose, didn't you?" I was about to deny it, but I couldn't suppress the nausea in my stomach. I didn't say a word, turned around, and ran into the bathroom. I vomited for a long time before I recovered. I thought the matter was over, but Serafina blocked me in the corner of the bathroom. She stared at my belly and asked, "Did you not abort the little beast in your belly?" I pushed her away immediately. "Serafina, what are you crazy about? Does Ethan know about your thoughts?" Hearing me mention Ethan's name, Serafina immediately became alert and put on a look of sovereignty. "Who do you think you are? Do you want to snatch him away now?" Yes, Ethan is not only a man now, but also a prince of the Beijing circle with a net worth of 10 billion. Anyone can't help but keep a close eye on this piece of fat meat. Serafina, you worry too much. I just want to do my job well. After saying that, I walked away from her. After finishing today's work, I was not in a good mood. When I left, the staff caught up with me and gave me a dessert, saying that the store specially sent it to me. I took it and put it in the car, but was attracted by the smell of strawberries. So, I opened it and took a look. It turned out to be my favorite strawberry cheesecake. The depressed mood was relieved a lot at once. I couldn't help it, so I parked the car on the side of the road and started eating. But I didn't want to see Ethan kicking Serafina out of the car face to face. I lowered my head and continued to eat the cake in my hand, pretending that I didn't see anything, but Serafina rolled her eyes with resentment again. What bad luck, who did I offend? Just as I was thinking, a tall shadow was shrouded in front of me. Ethan leaned against my car window with one arm, took out a cigarette and put it back, and said under my puzzled gaze, "Is it fun to watch people quarrel?" I immediately rolled my eyes. I didn't see anyone quarreling. Wasn't it always Ethan who was the only one who was fighting? Ethan smiled, showing a row of white teeth. "Lila, those women are boring. I still prefer to be with you. Why don't we make peace?" I dug my ears and hooked my fingers at him. "Can you come closer and say it again?" His handsome face immediately came to me, and said in my ear with a bit of teasing, I said, "Let's make peace." "Are you so happy? Haven't you reacted yet?" I smiled slightly and looked at him with a crazy face. The next second, the unfinished cake in my hand was smeared on his face. "I warn you, Ethan, if you say this kind of nonsense to me again, don't blame me for being rude to you." After that, I stepped on the accelerator and drove away. I don't care if you are a prince of Beijing or a billionaire. No matter how powerful you are still a man I have slept with. You break up if you say break up, and you reconcile if you say reconcile. Don't I have any face? Fuck you. I couldn't help but curse. Is it fun to play tricks on me? Ethan, you big liar. Unconsciously, I drove the car to the downstairs of the apartment I once rented. Somehow I walked into the Shawsian snacks that Ethan and I used to love to eat. Dottie was still chasing soap operas as usual. After seeing me, she greeted me enthusiastically. "Hey, you haven't been here for so long, where have you been?" I smiled and said, "I moved away." "Yes." She hesitated and asked, "Is it still the same?" I nodded. Soon, the steaming hot noodles were delivered to me. Dottie also sat down in front of me. "I shouldn't ask you this question. Did you and that guy break up?" "Yeah." No wonder he kept staring at his phone when he came to eat noodles that day. It turns out he was looking at photos to recall memories. How pitiful. He must like you very much. I paused with my chopsticks. What do you mean? Otherwise, if they broke up, who would use photos of their ex-girlfriend as their phone screensaver? I took a deep breath. You guessed wrong. He was the one who broke up. What? Dottie was shocked. Young people nowadays, we don't understand. She turned around and gossiped with me about the TV series she was watching. It's right to break up if you can't protect her. So what if she's rich? You still have to marry someone of equal status. My heart was suddenly hit by something, and some things suddenly became clear. Yes, it's better to break up early if it's not suitable. Since you've made a choice, what does it mean to flirt with me again today? In order not to contact Ethan, I handed over the preliminary interview work to my colleagues. I was responsible for organizing the manuscripts in the company. At first, Ethan called to express his dissatisfaction, but after hearing that I was not feeling well, he stopped talking. He became even more good-tempered and stopped pestering me. Instead, he cooperated with his colleagues. I secretly sighed. Has this guy changed his personality? Just as I was thinking, my colleague who came back from the interview handed me the information and praised Ethan. Hearing those adjectives, I couldn't help but ask, "Are you sure you are describing Ethan?" Of course, apart from him, I have never seen a man who is more gentlemanly, more handsome, and more intelligent than him. But it's a pity that he is getting married. Looking at my colleague's regretful expression, I didn't say anything. It's really pitiful that such an excellent man has to marry a woman he doesn't like. Did he tell you? Do I need to say this? Anyone with eyes can see that you can't hide your eyes when you like someone. Okay, stop gossiping and go out to work. Like or dislike is Ethan's own business. My task is to do my job well and then leave. Touching my slightly bulging belly, I was ready to be a single mother. Just then, someone pushed open the door of my office. The person was ragged, had messy hair, and looked very old. Just when I was about to drive him away, the person said, "Lila, don't you recognize me? I'm your mother." At that moment, I saw the face of the person clearly. The mother in my memory was still the same as when she was young. That year, my father had an accident at the construction site. She took the compensation but refused to treat my father. There was no money at home, and the compensation was taken away by her. My father died in the corridor of the hospital. She left without leaving me a penny. I heard that she married a nouveau riche. I was 13 years old that year. A person who has disappeared for most of his life suddenly appears in front of you. There is only one possibility, and he is here to harm you. Layla, I'm sorry, Mom will kneel down and apologize to you now. Before I could react, Wanda suddenly knelt in front of me and cried loudly. The door of the office was not closed, and many colleagues gathered around to watch the fun. Seeing that I didn't respond, Wanda cried even louder, "Lila, what does your mother have to do to make you forgive me? As long as you can say it, I will definitely do it." She tried to grab my hand but I dodged it. If she touched me, I would definitely be disgusted to death. I said indifferently, "Really, you can do anything?" Wanda nodded with a sincere face, "As long as I can do it." I pointed to the window of the office, "Jump from there, and I will forgive you." Some people in the crowd have begun to speak up for Wanda quietly. Let your own mother jump off the building? It's amazing that she can think of it. After all, she gave birth to me, how much hatred does she have? I didn't expect her to be this kind of person. I don't want to be a colleague with such a person. I listened to the discussions around me silently, but Wanda continued to play the role of a pitiful mother who was forced to do nothing. Okay. She raised her sleeves and wiped away 2 tears. After Mom is gone, you have to take good care of yourself. After that, she ran towards the window, but when she passed me, she deliberately bumped into me, causing my stomach to hit the corner of the desk. I immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Ah. Blood. After hearing the scream, I lowered my eyes to look down at myself, and bright red blood was actually flowing down my thigh. A colleague had already come to help me and called an ambulance. I looked at Wanda with resentment, and I couldn't speak because of the pain. I don't know why Ethan appeared here. I only know that when he rushed into the crowd and hugged me, everything around me seemed to be still, and he was the only one in my eyes. It's okay, I'll take you to the hospital right away." His voice was a little shaky, and his eyes were full of panic. I leaned on his chest and couldn't help but wet my eyes. "Ethan, is my child going to die?" "Nonsense. I will find the best doctor. Don't be afraid, Lila, you will all be fine." His cold kiss fell on my forehead, and I nodded to him. I don't remember what happened after that. Who knew that when I woke up again, I became a celebrity? I used to report other people's stories, but now I have become the protagonist of the story. The bloody headlines on the hot search are one after another. Hashtag a well-known female reporter got pregnant before marriage and forced her mother to jump off the building. The mysterious lover is suspected to be a married man. Hashtag a female reporter shamelessly seduced a married man, and her biological mother jumped off the building. Hashtag a female reporter got pregnant before marriage, was dissatisfied with her mother's scolding, and forced her mother to jump off the building. Hashtag. There are countless such stories. Before I finished reading, my phone was snatched away by Ethan. He put the washed cherries in my hand. Eat more, watch less boring things, it's not good for my son's prenatal education. Looking at my resentful eyes, he immediately reacted, it's even more sinful to hinder my daughter's physical and mental health. I picked a hard and black cherry and put it in my mouth. Ethan, can you stop being so sentimental? When did I say the child is yours? Ethan leaned close to my ear and said confidently, have you forgotten? Those are the seeds I worked hard to cultivate day and night. If they are not mine, whose are they? I rolled my eyes at him and said nothing. Things were too far from expectations, a little out of control, and completely off track. Just when I was about to eat a cherry, Ethan suddenly snatched the fruit plate from my hand and threw it on the ground. And shouted at me, how many times do I have to tell you to sign to get rid of this child? 10 million? 50 million? Or 100 million? You tell me a number. Our Ethan family will not accept a woman of your background. I have a fiancé and there is no way I want this child. I understood instantly when I saw the shadow at the door and said coldly, do you think I am willing to give birth to a child for someone like you? Even if you don't give me money, I won't give birth to this child. Didn't you send me to the hospital that day because you were afraid that someone would die and I couldn't get entangled with you? I tell you, Ethan, I would rather give birth to a child for a homeless person on the street than for you. As I said that, I rang the call bell at the bedside. The nurse quickly entered the room. Patient, what's wrong with you? Please ask the doctor to arrange an operation for me immediately. I want an abortion. Lila, your child is very healthy, are you sure? I nodded firmly, I am very sure. As I was speaking, two people rushed in at the door. The man had a dignified look on his face, and he pulled Ethan out as soon as he came in. The woman was gentle and dignified, she bent down to pick up the cherries scattered on the ground, and sat down beside my bed. I nodded and immediately said, don't worry, Auntie, I will never bother your son. I know the principle of marrying well, and I don't want to marry into a wealthy family overnight and be despised by others. Although I don't have much money, I can still support myself, and I don't need you to give me any nutrition fees. Please take Ethan away, I will take care of the child in your belly. If you are still worried, you can come to see the whole process on the day of the operation. I finished speaking. And Ethan's mother excitedly held my hand and hurriedly explained, Lila, you misunderstood, I am not here to persuade you to abort the child. I looked at her with a puzzled face. Ethan and I broke up a long time ago, not to mention that he has a fiancée, and you also saw his attitude just now, so this child. Before she finished speaking, she was interrupted, you don't need to worry about these things, just take good care of the baby. Ethan is indeed a filial child. The marriage with the Serafina family was also decided by his father and me. He didn't want us to be sad, so he agreed. Since you have the flesh and blood of our Ethan family, you are the legitimate daughter-in-law of our Ethan family. We will not be bad at all the etiquette, and we will never let you down. Of course, our family doesn't have so many rules. After marriage, you will be as free as you are now. You can do whatever you want, and you will have enough pocket money. It can be seen that you still have feelings for our Ethan. After all, you have been together for so many years. I was silent for a few seconds, bit my lip, and looked a little lonely. Auntie, forget it. Even if I am willing, Ethan is not willing. A forced melon is not sweet. If the parents have a bad relationship, the child will not be happy after it is born. Seeing my firm attitude, Ethan's mother got up and walked out of the ward. A few minutes later, Ethan pushed the door open and apologized to me with a smile. I'm sorry, Layla, I was not polite just now. I apologize to you. I think we need to have a good talk. I glanced at my parents standing behind him and didn't answer. Ethan's mother looked at me gently. Lila, Auntie is a man of her word. Don't worry, if this kid dares to bully you, just tell me and I will deal with him. After that, Ethan's mother took Ethan's father out of the ward. Ethan walked out the door and was relieved after making sure that everyone was far away. he strode to the bed, pinched my chin, and kissed my lips fiercely. I was almost out of breath from his kiss and pushed him away. "Ethan, you are crazy. Don't you know I'm pregnant?" He grabbed my hand and laughed. After planning for so long, it finally ended perfectly. "Of course I am excited. But you acted well, and this double act was really successful." I smiled. "Don't you feel heartbroken to lie to your parents like this?" He put his hand on his heart, looking like he had no desire to live. "My heart will hurt more if I can't marry you." I was instantly amused by his funny expression. It turned out that he had planned this big drama since he broke up with me. What car accident, infertility in the future, are all good dramas directed and performed by him. The purpose is to make his parents automatically cancel the engagement and agree to let me marry. If it weren't for this sudden accident, I would have known the truth later. I leaned my face in Ethan's arms, feeling his familiar body temperature, and suddenly felt that my love for him was too shallow. I apologized to him with some guilt. "I'm sorry, Ethan." He gently rubbed my hair and said with some complaints, "How can you be so cruel, woman? You blocked me after breaking up, and you plan to never contact me again, right?" I nodded. "Of course, otherwise how spineless." Hearing this, he bit my lips as if to vent his anger. "Heartless dog. I'm called having backbone. Who told him not to say hello in advance? I can't do such a thing as being broken up for no reason and still pestering me to death." At this moment, I am surrounded by a full sense of happiness. The strong smell of disinfectant in the ward made me feel nauseous. Looking at the unfamiliar environment around me, I couldn't help but feel scared. I grabbed Ethan's arm and asked, "If the baby in my belly is really gone after this accident, will you marry Serafina?" "No," Ethan answered very firmly. He looked at me seriously. "I do all this so that you won't be bullied when you marry into my family. After all, I can't stay by your side all the time." Of course I understand what he means. Since ancient times, women who marry into a wealthy family are always inferior to others, and they have to live by the face of others in their husband's family. He is trying every way to protect me. "Ethan, you are so nice. You just know it." As he said, he took out his mobile phone and handed it to me. "How to deal with this matter? I want to hear your thoughts." Looking at the video playing in front of me, I wanted to kill Wanda. She is far more vicious and hateful than I thought. Serafina found Wanda and asked gloatingly, "Are you really Lila's mother?" Wanda nodded. "Do you know my daughter?" "Of course." Serafina looked at Wanda and said, "How come my daughter is so well off, but you, as a mother, are so miserable? Is she doing well now?" "A famous journalist." Wanda snorted coldly. "Dead girl. She didn't even bother to honor me after becoming rich. I've known she has no conscience since she was a child." Serafina looked proud. "Now there is a chance to take revenge on her. Do you want to try?" Wanda looked calculating. "Why should I take revenge on my own daughter?" 500,000, to ruin her reputation and test whether she has a child in her belly. Of course, it doesn't matter if you don't agree. I can find someone else. At most, the effect will be worse. 1 million, and I can do one thing for you. I laughed, and laughed so hard that my body shook. How could I be born from such a vicious woman's belly? 1 million, she not only sold my reputation but also wanted to kill my child. So cruel. How could there be a mother like her in the world? She doesn't deserve it. With almost no thought, I turned to Ethan and said, "Expose it, and add fuel to the fire while the heat of the video scolding me has not subsided. As for Serafina's part, deal with it." Ethan looked at me with some distress, kissed my cheek lightly, and said, "Okay." The unilateral cancellation of the engagement was originally a shame to the Serafina family. Taking Serafina out of the way was also a favor to them, and both families would not be too embarrassed. As for Wanda, I sneered. Didn't she accuse the public of not caring about her? Then I will do as she wished and take care of her in her old age. Aren't the Ethan family and the Serafina family going to marry? Lila got pregnant, can the family accommodate her? Ethan frowned. And there was a cry of surprise from the crowd, Ethan's mother is here. After getting off the car, Ethan's mother walked straight to me through the crowd and took my hand. My daughter-in-law needs to go home to rest, you better get out of the way. Whoever scares the child in her belly will be in trouble. After the words fell, the lively crowd suddenly quieted down and took the initiative to distance themselves from us. After a while, someone asked Ethan's mother, are you acknowledging Lila's identity? What about the daughter of the Serafina family? Ethan's mother glanced at the reporter and responded without hesitation, originally, we, the old people, intended to match the two younger generations, but it's a pity that a forced marriage is not sweet. What my son likes is what I like. In the future, if I hear any rumors, whoever makes my daughter-in-law unhappy, no matter who it is, I will make him pay for it. I looked at Ethan's mother gratefully. Her actions also gave me enough respect. Just when we all got in the car, Wanda squeezed in front of me again, looking at Ethan's mother with a bright face and said, Mother-in-law, I am Lila's mother. I looked at Ethan's mother with a firm look in my eyes and said, yes, she is my mother. Wanda was immediately excited when she saw me admit it. Maybe she was dreaming of becoming a rich person in the future. Then I changed the subject, in fact, sometimes we can't blame her. After all, she has experienced too much in these years, and her mind has not been very clear, so she was used by people with ulterior motives to do some stupid things. Yes. I am old and my brain is not good. I immediately raised my eyebrows and looked at Wanda. She hurriedly said, not only is my brain not good, but even the doctor said that I am sick and need to be hospitalized for treatment. I nodded and pulled Wanda into the car under the surprised eyes of everyone. She was moved and cried immediately, saying that she had lost her mind in these years, sorry for me, and praised me for being a good daughter. I just felt funny in my heart. She didn't know that her hard days had just begun. At this time, only Wanda was in the car, chattering about my past. Lila, do you remember? When you were young, you said that you would take good care of your mother and provide for her in her old age. Now that your mother is back, she will never leave you again. I looked at her and said indifferently, remember. The corners of her mouth were almost grinning to her temples. Don't worry, I will definitely take care of you until the end of your life. After getting my assurance, Wanda calmed down, and the joy in her eyes was beyond words. The car stopped in front of Ethan's luxurious manor villa. Wanda looked envious, is this a castle? It's so beautiful. After saying goodbye to Ethan's mother, I curled my lips, what's this? The house you live in the future will be bigger than this. Seeing the car continue to start, Wanda asked, are we going now? After the child is born, Mom will help you take care of it. After all, the nanny is an outsider, and I am worried. After saying that, she secretly glanced at Ethan, Lila, you really know how to choose a man. I looked up and kissed Ethan on the face and nestled in his arms without saying a word. Wanda was thrown out of the car after being beaten with tranquilizers. I looked out the window. This will be her final destination in the future. There is no place more suitable for her than a mental hospital. Ethan held my cold hand and said distressedly, don't worry, you have me and our child in the future, you won't be alone. I nodded gently and smiled. Not only that, I have parents again. We smiled at each other. After sending Wanda to the mental hospital, a big stone in my heart finally fell to the ground. The days gradually returned to peace, and I was at ease to recuperate in Ethan's family, waiting for the birth of the child. Ethan completely broke off the engagement with the Serafina family and announced my relationship with him and the existence of my unborn child. At first, there were some doubts and gossips from the outside world, but as more and more people knew about the tough attitude of the Ethan family and Ethan's care for me, those negative voices gradually faded. Later, I successfully gave birth to a healthy boy, and the whole Ethan family was jubilant. Ethan was even happier like a child, staying by my and the child's side all day, never leaving. Ethan and I agreed to give the child the purest love and let him grow up in a loving environment. And we will accompany each other through the long years, allowing this hard-earned relationship to continue forever.